number one goal of every fighter pilot, especially F-18 pilot, is to fly against a Russian-made MiG-29. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that airplane, it is, simply put, one of the best airplanes ever made. Against an F-18, the MiG-29 has better turn performance, and it has better weapon systems. I know we're not supposed to admit that, but it was true. And so as an F-18 pilot, all of our training, when we did dogfighting training, all of our training was to simulate a dogfight against a MiG-29. We would always go out and pretend that we were fighting against that MiG-29. Against a MiG-29, we practice our training over and over again. Now, the problem is, you really never get to fight against a MiG-29 because they're owned by our enemies, and as you might imagine, we don't train with them. We fight against them. And so, but there's one country. See, East Germany, which used to be a Russian bloc country, became just Germany, and there's one squadron of MiG-29s in East Germany. So one day, we got to train against the MiG-29s from Germany. Now, on that particular day, one of the pilots in my squadron, just one of the pilots in my squadron, was going to fight a dogfight against the MiG-29. Now, at this moment in my career, I had not gone to Top Gun, hadn't graduated from Top Gun. I was an awful pilot. I was the worst and youngest pilot in my squadron. But my commanding officer took a liking to me. And I'm not sure why, but what I do know is the night before, we were at the bar, because that's just what fighter pilots do. And my commanding officer, who, to just tell the story as truthfully as I can, had too much to drink, okay? And he looked over at me. My call sign was head rush. He looked over at me and he put his hand on my shoulder. And in his misguided, misjudged, drunken decision-making, he said, "Head, you're the one that's gonna fight the MiG-29 tomorrow." I was like, this is amazing. I hope he remembers this. Okay, so I went back, got a good night's sleep, woke up that morning, and I was gonna go out that day to fly against a Russian-made MiG-29. Remember I said, they have a more maneuverable airplane and better weapon systems, and that day, I was fighting against the commanding officer, the number one pilot in their squadron. Okay, now, what I had going for me is I was young, dumb, and inexperienced, okay? And you might think, wait a second, why is that an advantage for you? Well, see, I was so young and so dumb and so inexperienced, I didn't know I was supposed to lose, okay?